Why are you afraid? That's what Jesus asked them when they saw that though He's there, the storm is very much strong. And that is what happens in our life. Jesus is with us, and yet there are so many storms around us. What must we do then? Not get frightened, but have the confidence of what the first reading says. He is faithful to His promises. He will not allow any harm to take place to us. And even if it does, it might be just external. And so we need to form ourselves in such a way that we are able to face the storms at different levels of our being, maybe physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So we need to face it. And so He says, do you not have faith? Why do you doubt? So faith is something that we can't see, but we believe. That is what we need to do. Know for certain that He is faithful and that He will never let us down. He is with us all the time, and that is enough for us. So what is our response? How do we come to faith? How do we trust? First and foremost, we must be able to be present to our thoughts and our feelings. These are going on all the time. What happens to us? These take control of our lives. We must be in control of them. And how are we going to do that? I said to you, as Jesus Himself did in His life, He spent the last moments of His day with His Father and the morning hours. So the whole night became prayer. St. Ignatius tells us the same thing. You prepare yourself, keep silence, go into prayer, and He has shown us how we need to be present to Jesus. And therefore, how are we going to do that? Your thoughts, your feelings, whatever experiences you've had through the day, just keep it in Him. Don't keep it in yourself. Keep it out in Him by just repeating His name, Jesus, 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 till your breath is completely squeezed out of your body and it is all out. When you keep it in Him, He blesses it. He purifies it with His precious blood. And this is what happens. If you don't have faith, that you will not experience it. You can't see it, but it's happening to you. The next moment, you're filled with His goodness, His strength, His power. That's all coming to you. And whatever you need to be done, whether body, mind, emotion, and spirit level, He will do it for you. So just give it to Him. And when you go to bed, at the subconscious level, where we are formatted by evil in different ways, He will unformat us and reformat us in His ways, because we are all cells of His body. We are part of Him. He will make us what we should be in Him. By morning, you just spend another 5 minutes just remaining surrendered to Jesus, so that the whole night of the 24 hours, whether it is 5, 6 or 7 hours, you've spent with Him. And the energy that you will get from this prayer at night will serve you through the day to be able to confront any storm in your life. Whichever level it comes, you'll be able to be present to it, surrendering it to Jesus, and He will give you what you should say and what you should do. We have seen how Abraham had to make a sacrifice of what he had, his only possession, his son. And God had promised He would, give him generations, plenty of, people of faith. But he had asked him to sacrifice him. So what did he do? He remained detached from his son, because God has given, God has taken. Praise be the name of the Lord. That is how he grew in his attitude of faith and trust in God, who is always faithful. And that is what happened to Thomas Aquinas. He was a very young and intelligent young lad. At 5, he was sent to the Benedictine monastery. At 11, he entered the Dominicans. but was not given permission. His father, who was a very rich person and was a relative of Frederick II, imprisoned him, and they tried to dissuade him, put him into sexual kind of, situations where he would give up his chastity and all that. No, he stood his ground. They locked him up in a tower, and for 2 years, his sister gave him books on scripture and philosophy. In the 2 years, he was so intelligent, he knew everything. And the Dominicans brought him down like St. Paul in a basket. And then he went and he did his studies in Cologne and in Paris. And there he shone so much, and he really found a system called the scholastic system, where he took the thoughts of Aristotle and his outlook and he used it to understand philosophy, which is the handmaid of theology, and so that he could explain theology to others. And so he said this: we want to explain God and Himself, but it is our rational mind that moves towards understanding God. And the one who makes us understand God is Jesus, because He is the way to God. And so, my dear sisters and brothers, this man was only 49, but he had written such a lot of works, so many things. And the greatest work he has done, which will last for ages, is the Summa Theologica, which is the summary and synthesis of philosophy and theology. And what does he say? 2 things. This we can take. Whenever he started something, he started with a lot of prayer. He spent many hours in contemplation. And then he would start his work. And when he found things difficult, he would go to the Blessed Sacrament and place his head next to the Blessed Sacrament and allow God to reveal the truths to him. And that is how he wrote. But the last 3 or 4 years of his life, can you imagine, 49 he died. So about at 46, he stopped writing and just spent time in silence with God. And this man was an instrument of God's wisdom and teaching for the church, and he has done such marvelous things. My dear sisters and brothers, all of us, God is faithful to us because we belong to Him, we are part of His body. Give yourself to Him and He will do wonders in your life. So let's spend a few moments, hold your hands like this, keep them in your lap, keep your back straight, close your eyes, and be present to Him at your breath. He fills you, body, mind and spirit, from your toes right up to your head, and you empty everything out in Him, whatever is His and whatever is ours, gained from our own ego, through others who have inspired us, and the evil one who makes us conform to his ways of the world. Surrender all of that, because this does not bring us peace, it brings us fear. And having done this, surrender to Him also all your intentions and prayers, all your concerns.